Hey, it's Central Valley Real Estate and Home Improvement. I'm your host, Steve Walling. My guest for this segment is Cyndi Bauer, and she is with Realty Concepts. So, Cyndi, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
I'm glad to have you here. I'm really sorry to hear that the house that we were going to talk about today, it's sold. My goodness. I'm sorry. You're not sorry. I'm sorry. But actually, we're going to talk about things for, as people are considering selling their home, as they're prepping it, the things that you want to share with them that will help them present their home in the best light, no pun intended.
Exactly.
Okay? So we'll take a look. You brought some pictures here that we can talk about, so let's take a look at them. All right, what are we looking at here?
Okay, windows. Windows are the most important thing you want to clean. A lot of sellers always ask, what's the biggest bang for my buck, right? And you can say a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Right.
Or a picture's worth $1,000 too, if you think about it. Because these are going live around the whole world. Everyone's going to see these pictures. Clean your windows. The cheapest thing that you can do to get your home ready is to just clean.
Paper towels and Windex and go to town, right?
Everything. Run your finger across the top of your refrigerator. I guarantee it's pretty dusty.
It's a funny thing, Cyndi, but sometimes, potential buyers, they do that kind of stuff.
They do that stuff. They're going to open drawers.
Yep.
They're going to, so
and if
especially
the
the closet.
If there's little dirt on the rollers and the drawer comes out going crunch, 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 not necessarily a good thing.
Right.
If there's crumbs in the back of the drawer, people may like the house, but they may not want to, have to deal with all that stuff. Or they may, in their own minds, feel that, if I'm looking at this in the house, maybe there's a lot of things that I can't see in the house
that are wrong.
That are wrong, yeah.
Exactly.
So, all right, we go from windows. Let's take a look at our next. Okay. What's this?
Well, also, please be sure all the light bulbs are changed before you put something on the market, because the buyer will assume that it's broken or it just doesn't work, and obviously it just needs a light bulb. So,
and that's important, and particularly like when you go to show the house as a realtor or someone that's bringing in a potential buyer, if the sellers have all the lights on, it makes it. It's just psychologically it's more attractive. And if they turn on all the lights and there's, one in each room or a couple of them that are out, it leaves the room a little bit darker, doesn't quite show as well. But you're right. People look at the light and they'll go, how come that light's not working? Is it not working because they're too lazy to change it out? Or is it not working because there's something broke?
Exactly.
And that's an important thing. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. All right, what are we looking at here?
Also, this is the ceiling grate where you have your filter up there.
Oh, yeah.
A very notoriously disgusting and dirty thing, so you want to clean that.
That's
full disclosure.
Where dust bunnies live.
Full disclosure, by the way, this is my house, okay? So I'm the first one to admit I'm not the greatest of housekeepers, but my house isn't for sale, so it can just be dusty. It's okay.
And, it's one of those simple things that people can do. Yeah. As a buyer's walking through the house.
Cleaning is free,
Right. And a buyer will walk through the house, people don't realize this. They'll look up at that, and oftentimes they may even open up the vent to look at and see what the filter looks like.
Right, exactly.
And you don't want to be embarrassed by that. It's one of those simple things. You can change it out. You can clean it. Change the light bulbs. So everything works. And so when potential buyers go through, they're seeing nice light and everything is looking good. Okay. What's the next thing we're looking at here?
This is a little hard to tell exactly what's happening in this. It didn't photograph all that great. But again, this is like, look at your chandeliers. Look at your ceiling fans. Do they look like they belong in the Haunted Mansion? Okay, I'm talking cobwebs, right? Cobwebs and dust.
And dust.
Yeah, and a lot of times, fine. Most people don't clean all that stuff. I don't either.
Those beautiful ceiling fans that, help circulate the air, and they're really nice, and oftentimes we got very beautiful bulbs.
Right.
But, if you run your hand, again,
they're filthy,
and it takes only a couple minutes to go through and clean those things.
Exactly.
Again, that's another one of those things. Or if it's off and the potential buyer turns it on and dust goes, not a good thing.
No.
Okay, let's see the next thing. What are we looking at here?
My other thing of focus too is the front door, because it's the very first thing that the buyers are seeing, and usually they're standing around while the realtor is fumbling with the lockbox, trying to get the keys going.
Okay.
And so they're standing there for a pretty long time looking. And again, you don't want cobwebs, dust. You want the front door locking mechanism to work perfectly. Obviously, you don't want them jiggling keys and it's like, oh, the door's stiff. All that little stuff that you can do.
You don't want Charlotte's Web up there, any of that stuff.
Wash it all down, have it pristine.
And these are things that are not hard to do, but the subtle effect that they have on potential buyers can be very large.
Exactly.
Okay, so what are we looking at next here?
And then again, this is just by the front door, a super dusty
with all the little bugs that, moths and bees or whatever that have flown in there and have, sacrificed themselves so that your house, appeases the gods, doesn't necessarily show well for your potential buyers.
Exactly.
And that's not a good thing. Okay.
Exactly.
Moving on here. What are we looking at now?
This is our new branding. Okay, our company just got all brand new signs.
Really?
And we've moved away from the old traditional wooden sign. It's a metal sign. It leaves a much smaller hole in your front yard, which sellers and buyers like. Then there's not like a giant gaping hole in the yard.
Cool.
They're very sturdy and sleek, modern looking.
Yeah. Nice trim profile, and is that the new sign?
That's the new sign. Yeah. So this was the house that sold. We got a full price offer in 5 days.
Really?
Yeah, and I think it's partly because the sellers did a lot of these little touches. I mean, they didn't completely do anything new to their house, but they just did a really good job of getting everything clean and decluttering.
And that's another thing. Decluttering,
yes.
All those little knickknacks that you got all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to move. May want to pack a few of them up.
Yes.
Or all of them, depending. Right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so let's move on. What else we're looking at here?
That's pretty much all I brought with just those. Yeah, I just wanted to discuss also another option. Sellers always ask, should I sell my home vacant or with I'm still living in it? And there's pros and cons either way.
Yeah.
So if you have a vacant home, sometimes it doesn't show well because you walk in there and I've had this happen before. You got the smoke detector batteries out, so it's pinging. Yeah. It's either too cold or too hot because they're not running the systems because no one's living there. The water in the toilet sits for a long time and makes a stain. So if you do have a vacant home, you should be checking on it all the time, or your realtor should be doing that for you.
Another thing about a vacant home, it's hard for a prospective buyer to visualize. They're not going to want to do necessarily what you got, but if you've got something, they can contrast that in their minds as to what it would look like if they bring their touches, their furniture and stuff, how it will look in that room. And it's hard to do often. Truth be told, sometimes buyers, they're just a little unimaginative. This word I'll use. They're unimaginative when they're looking to buy a home. Right. They want to walk in and see that place that's going to touch their heart emotionally. They're going to have that connection, and an empty warehouse look inside your house, not necessarily the best.
Exactly. And there are a few circumstances where maybe that's the best bet. Sometimes, let's say you have a property that is an investment and you have tenants in there. Then don't sell with the tenants in the house because they're not going to do a good job of keeping things clean or turning the lights on.
And they may have a vested interest in the house not selling quickly. I mean, that's just reality. It's not that they're bad people or whatever, but that's been their home for a period of time, and it can be a little scary knowing that you're losing your home.
Yes.
For those people.
Exactly.
So, as a good seller, you want to give your renters time enough to find a place, let them move, and then you want to go in and evaluate, what you need to do with what's left behind, and then you have the house open to the market.
Exactly.
On the other hand, if it's your own home, or if you have furniture and stuff that you can bring in, then again, cleanliness. Now we're not talking just about door sills and windows, but wouldn't be bad to have your furniture, in its best presentable condition at that time. And when you have prospective individuals coming to look at your house, potential buyers, turn on all the lights, open the curtains or raise the blinds so that the more light, the more openness, you know, it's going to make a greater impact on potential buyers.
Right. One other tip as well, if you are going to have your home listed, put away all jewelry, anything valuable. If you have any type of weapons in your home, medicines, don't have that stuff out.
No, not a good idea.
Yeah, you know, for your own liability as well as, you know,
it's sad,
else's.
but, you know, not all potential buyers are really potential buyers.
True.
You know, we think about the looky-loo, but, you know, sometimes. And this is where having a good agent representing your house can become important also. You know, so that's important. You want to pay attention to that. And what I'm going to say now is, because a lot of, you know, buyers or sellers are real impressed with the value of their home. I mean, it is the Taj Mahal in their area, right?
Right.
Even if it's small, but it's been so good, they've lived in it, they love it, and so when they think about the listing price, they don't always see how the house sits in the market.
Right.
They see how the house sits in their mind, and it, you know, truth be told, if you want to sell, you have to sell at the level of the market.
Right.
Plain
exactly.
and simple.
Well, I've gone as far as even not just showing them pictures of competing properties, but, you know, if it's available, I'll actually show them another house.
And,
you know, even though they're not buyers, they're sellers,
Right.
but just say this is, you know, your competition.
Right.
So
And it's good to know.
yeah. It's good to know what's
All
out
right.
there, and you have to stay on it every single day because
Yeah.
you know, if yesterday I looked at the market, but then today 5 homes in your neighborhood just came up, you know, it's going to change your value, and you need to be able to react quickly.
Yeah, you have to do that, and that comes from having a knowledgeable agent, and I assume you are a knowledgeable agent.
I try
Yeah.
to be. I try to be,
Yeah.
and I continue to going to training and stuff. I feel like you're never too old to learn new things.
Yep. And Realty Concepts is a good company to list with,
Yeah.
or to be a buyer with.
They're amazing. I mean, of course, I have to toot my own horn. Toot,
But
toot.
they do. They have a lot of access to many resources for both sellers and buyers, and for one in either one of those positions. The broker that you're going with, the more resources that they can bring, the better your buying or selling experience will be. So that's awesome.
Thank you. We do pride ourselves
Yep.
on that. But
All right.
we're also a family company too. We're all friends and we all help each other too.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? Very good. Cyndi, thanks for being with us today.
Thank
I
you.
am so sorry that your house, no, I'm not sorry. It's great that your house sold that we were going to talk about. You brought some good information for potential sellers. So, awesome.
Thank you so much.
Pay attention.
I'd love to come back again.
Well, you will.
All right.
Come back. We'll talk about your next listing.
Okay, thank
The
you.
fact that it sold again before you get here, well, we'll talk about other things that
I'll
sellers
try
can
to get
do.
here faster.
There you go. And we'll see you when we come back.
All right.